The podcast is back. Welcome to Tasler Guide Service. Join along as my guests and I dive into our outdoor adventures, share some laughs, and of course a few beers. A new episode will be released every other Friday at 5 a.m. I hope you guys have as much fun watching as we did making it.
What would be fun, for real, is to do a channel cut tournament in Fort Madison in April, like we always have. Just a weeknight or whatever, not a full-blown tournament. But the fishing is so good, like we're not doing it this year, so we'd all get together.
Well, I won't be here in April, so I'll be just getting back, and I got a turkey to kill. But
well,
and then I'm in Milford, or I guess hopefully we're in Milford, and then after that we can.
Once the fishing
really narrows
sucks.
it down.
Yeah, once the fishing sucks.
Right.
Well, one is not the end of April, because that's Sea Arc Invitational.
That's what I'm coming back after the Sea Arc invite. Then suddenly it's the Milford tournament for Twisted Cats.
Yeah.
And then I'll be in Muscatine after that.
Yeah. No, we'll figure it out.
Running trips up there, and I'll zip down here for a league night. Especially if you do it Wednesday night, I'll come down here for Wednesday night, and then Thursday night at Buffalo, they'll have their Thursday night, and I'll do two nights in a row.
Not many people can do that. 2 nights in a row
I
that
don't
run
care
guide
what
trips.
other people do. I'm going to work all day. I'll be running guide trips all day.
I gotta stop fishing to go fishing.
I have to stop working to go fishing. I'm not going to be fishing. I'm going to be driving a boat. Other people are going to be reeling them in.
There's a little bit more.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
We came down, we took a drive. There's gonna be a video coming up later once I get the hat, but we brought some coonskins down to have a Spencer's coonskin cap made.
It's going to be a camp. It's going to be a community hat. Everybody's going to have lice. It's gonna be
great.
God.
You know.
But it'll be a privilege to wear that hat. Like however we go about it, like in some capacity, it'll be.
You'll have to earn it.
it.
You just can't put the hat on.
Yeah.
I guess that leads me to a question.
Oh, how do I turn this off? Just turn off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just turn the propane bottle off.
Your question.
Where did the Cubs hat come about? Like, I know you're a Cubs fan, but you're a fan of a lot of things. Is it like a luck thing? I feel like you catch the Cubs.
But they suck. And they always
No, I'm
suck.
saying with fishing. Like, is
Yeah,
it
so the
lucky
deal.
hat or something like that?
No, well, the deal was I would never wear a Cubs hat because they sucked. And I said, the only way I'd ever wear a Cubs hat fishing is if they won the World Series. And then, shit, they won the World Series.
That happened.
Goddamn, I guess I'm wearing a Cubs hat.
Now he's gotta wear it until they win another one, so he just keeps buying Cubs hats.
That's fine.
I buy a new one every year because it gets greasy and you can wash them, but there's only so much you can do.
Right.
When you're camping for 3 or 4 days in a row without showering, they get.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of gross you can't wash out.
No.
So I'll wash them twice a year, and then by the end of the year, it's like you see the grease dripping off of it when you take it off your head. So
I can feel it on my forehead. Like, that's how I know it's time for a new hat.
Yeah.
When my forehead starts feeling that film, I'm like, all right.
Well, I'm not even a hat wearer, and I still go through like 3 a year.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no.
Yeah, I've got a whole cabinet because I refuse to throw them away. It tells a story.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a whole cabinet full of old, dirty hats, but then I got about 40 brand new ones to recycle.
Yeah, about the time I pick it up and get it like here and I start smelling it, I'm like, yeah, it's time for a new hat.
Right. I got the other cabinet.
there will be a giveaway for a River Certified hat at that trapping convention.
Yeah. Prado's
Yep.
Trading Post.
Pretty
So they have
easy.
a kids day once a year that they teach trapping methods and stuff, and they
Which
give
is cool.
giveaways. So next year, Spencer and I are going to donate a bunch of prizes to the kids day,
Yeah, it's awesome.
and hopefully I get invited down. I'll do a demonstration and have a good time. Then we'll fish afterwards.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be warmer. Hopefully
Yeah.
you'll have an enclosure. Yeah, you just need to get them side curtains.
Yeah, it's just so much money, but make more of it every day.
Being alive is so much money.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at
It's
it.
just the side curtains cost as much as the whole enclosure did 2 years ago.
You're supporting a small business.
I am.
You know, that's why I bought a wallet today.
Yeah. $2,000 wallet.
Yeah. I now have a beaver skin wallet, which makes
Beaver
me
tail. Beaver tail.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
beaver tail wallet. I'm a real river rat instead of a pretend one.
Let me check that out.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
and it was half the price of my wallet I had before.
Yeah. It's got like a money clip in it.
Yeah,
That's sweet, man.
if it wasn't a money clip one, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
I like the money clip ones.
See, I don't do cash anymore, so I went to it's a magnet. Just hold your cards. I don't have to carry a wallet anymore.
Oh.
Until you lose your phone, then you're screwed.
Yeah, I don't know everything.
Once you start guiding, then you're gonna have to get one of
cash
these
again.
because it'll have some money clip.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people do the PayPal, but
Yeah.
It's like, I quit carrying cash because nobody does cash anymore, man. Everybody's PayPal or Venmoing or whatever. Used to pay babysitters in cash, they don't want that anymore.
serious?
So, I mean, they'll take it, but I'd rather have it electronic, I guess. I don't know.
Really?
It's weird, yeah.
They want to lose 3% every
That's kind of
time.
what I thought.
I would rather.
I pay the same, so it doesn't matter.
I'd
Yeah.
rather feel like a drug dealer and have big wads of
Absolutely right.
Yeah. I used to be the guy, and I was an idiot, but I was young, had a good job, no bills, and I'd carry around $4,000 or $5,000 in cash at all times because I didn't want to go somewhere and not be able to buy something. So I just have it in my pocket.
Then I got mugged 3 weeks in a
I did
row, and
With my stature, I don't get mugged very often, believe it or not.
I'd bug you. I don't even give a shit.
Right. But I never got mugged, never lost it or anything, but
Yeah.
I had it explained to me that it was probably pretty stupid to carry that much money. And I was like, oh, well, whatever. But
It's a risk.
yeah,
We
I
risk things every day.
That's true.
It was a risk driving down here
That's true.
today.
But
We made it.
I use it.
we're not home yet.
No.
I use a local bank, local enough that I can just call and don't even have to say my name or anything. I'm like, hey, can you transfer $1,000 into my dad's checking account? And they're like, yeah, okay. And then they hang up. They don't ask anything. You know, that's how local it is.
I'm known
Yeah,
there.
they know who we are.
Jealous.
But
That's sweet.
there's a downfall. You can only spend $200 per day on your debit card.
Oh.
So you got to carry a bunch of cash.
What about a credit card?
Yeah, and I got one now. I didn't at the time. So
Yeah.
if I went to Bass Pro and wanted to spend $1,000, I was just screwed.
I could go to Bass
I can make
Pro.
5 payments in 5 days,
Yeah.
and I will own this.
I could go to Bass Pro and spend 5
Yeah.
right now on a credit card.
Yeah. I can't
I'd have
now,
to pay it back.
but I was
Yeah, that's a downgrade.
I didn't have a credit card at the time, so I just carried a bunch of cash.
I can't. I
And
don't.
it cost me a lot of money. There's a lot of stuff I bought that I shouldn't have.
Because
I got the money.
Yeah.
This money's already spent. It's in my pocket.
I even forgot how much is in there. If
See,
I can
that's-
buy this, I would buy it.
That's something we differ on.
Right.
I'm such a like. It,
Oh,
it
no.
probably appears that I'm not a tight ass. Like I spend money on fishing. The end.
Yeah.
Like fishing, birthday, Christmas gifts, and everything else. It's like I don't need that.
Yeah, their date nights are bait nights. They go
Right.
out and catch bait.
Yeah,
right.
That's-
No kidding.
Or we go on a walk. A lot of walking. You know.
If she's feeling bad, I'll skip.
Right.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Just because I love you.
Yeah. Netflix, nah, can't afford it.
I just bought 2 Hero 9s myself. So,
Yeah? Yeah.
Hopefully.
Did it overheat?
Yeah, they overheat all the time. If you use them outside, they're fine. Like, if I'm doing a fishing video,
Freaking 50 degrees in here.
I don't want to tell you. It's an outdoorsy camera. Use it inside and it dies off.
Yeah, it also overheats. Well, that's why I miss things when I'm filming, is because I can't just let it run because it'll overheat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, especially blue cat. Missing all those takedowns.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks.
I did get the one from Monday.
That's
It did not, the angle of the camera did not showcase just how truly epic it was.
But you're whole.
Well, I looked over and that, like you see a pole bend, it's one thing. The pole looked deformed. like it was just like
It's
bent.
going 3 angles
Just
at
like,
once.
just instead of bending, it was like pointed. You know, like
That handle is strong.
he had 20 feet of line off of that reel on 15 to 20 pounds of drag before I touched the rod.
I'm trying to remember what video it was, but I remember one of yours where it was like the far outside rod in your old boat and it came around and whipped the talon. That's a bite.
That's
Was
might
it
have one.
like Big River Blue Cat?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
definitely.
remember that one.
But It was like the opening shot of the video, I think.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, it might not actually touch the talon, but it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. It was, yep, I remember it. I was using Whisker Seeker one.
Probably, I don't know.
And I did slow-mo because it was such a badass takedown. And that wasn't even like a freaky big fish.
Yeah.
He
just was tuned up.
Well,
Yeah,
he blew his load right off the bat.
He floated up to the top.
Yeah.
That's all I got. You win.
I had that hat in shark fishing. So I had a Penn Senator 6-aught, which holds about 500 yards of a 100-pound braid. And then you run like a 100-yard top shot, a 50, 60-pound mono on top of that. So I had, I don't know, probably 250 yards of line ran out. So it was a little over half full. And hadn't had a bite for 2 or 3 hours, and I was in this inlet because the seaweed was bad, so you couldn't fish the beach. I had to fish an inlet between the beach and the bay. Had a bait ran out off the drop off, and by the time I got to the rod, it was almost empty. And then I get to it, and it had like 10 pounds of drag to set that hook, and then I got there and I cranked it down, and by the time he stopped, I had 50 yards of line left. I'm like, this is one hell of a fish. And I cranked it in like a wet paper towel all the way to the beach. And it was a 6-foot something blacktip.
Jeez.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're used to catching 12-footers.
I'm not used to catching 12.
Well.
No, like I caught a lot of blacktips and caught a few, and some bowls and some lemons and stuff like that. Caught a few decent, like not even decent tigers, like smaller tigers. I never caught a truly monstrous shark. But to have that fish, like I thought I had something special.
Yeah, it was just done. Yeah.
Yeah, like
It must have bit as soon as you dropped the bait.
No, it was sitting there for like a couple hours. But he must have like circled all the way around, hit it with a running start, and ran. And then he's just like waved the white flag. And because I just, as soon as he quit running on that first run, he was toast. I didn't even know he was there. I thought the hook came out for a while. I'm cranking, put like 200 yards of line on before I even feel a little resistance.
Wow.
And
He's probably been caught before. He's like, you know what? There's no use.
I'm playing this game.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Bait was still delicious.
Right. Worth it. Doesn't starve myself out.
I'm trying to think what he ate. I don't remember.
Probably.
That was the same day that I reeled in a seahorse.
Oh.
So I reeled in a bait to check the bait, and when I reeled it in, I'd somehow impaled a seahorse, like on the hook.
Aren't they pretty small?
Yeah, he was like probably 2.5, 3 inches tall.
So
I wouldn't say that small.
Right, yeah. It leaves a little to be desired.
I mean, it's all about your scale.
Right.
3 inches is plenty. So yeah, he's probably about 2.5, 3 inches tall, and somehow impaled him on the end of a 20-aught circle hook when I was reeling it in.
Cut him in half, basically.
Like a chicken
Yeah.
nugget. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of felt bad because he was really cool looking, man. And
Yeah.
I should have saved him, like
You
dehydrated.
threw him back up for bait, didn't you?
No,
Just left him on the hook.
I'm not sentimental. I just threw him in the water.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm an asshole.
Right.
It wasn't on purpose.
It's funny misconceptions you have as a kid. Like, when I was a kid, I thought seahorses were like, you know, a foot and a half tall.
Yeah.
And then you go to the zoo and they're like this big swimming around in the aquarium.
Yeah.
Or like, when I was a kid, I thought quicksand was going to be a much bigger problem.
I was like worried
It's
about
like, we're going to run into some quicksand at some point. No, never happened.
Ella ran into quicksand in France this summer.
Really?
Really?
Like, dangerous quicksand?
Yeah.
Or, wow.
Like it wasn't a life or death thing, but
Mark
there
that
was
down as no travel.
there were signs that said "Watch out for quicksand."
Wow.
And her sister, I don't remember all.
What
of
are
them.
the signs of quicksand? Like the,
No, like literal sign, like they posted.
No, but what would you watch for?
Probably like ripples, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. Like I said, is it obvious?
Have you ever stepped in mud, like deflecting the subject to something that we all can relate on? Have you ever stepped in mud where you were concerned about getting out?
Yes.
I've been more concerned about like losing my boot.
No, I've lost
Like,
my boot.
yeah,
Have you ever been concerned like I'm stuck here?
Yeah.
yeah. Trapping that happens quite a bit.
Like before cell phones, where if you got stuck, you could die. Type.
So when I was a kid,
Not really that scenario, but
I haven't. but
When I was a
I
kid,
can see
we had lived on a farm, and I was out in the pasture, and if I was out in the middle of the woods, I probably would have died, because I was a pretty weak child. You know? But no.
If I'm gonna throw it out there.
No.
you're up to a weak man.
Right, exactly. No, I was walking across the pasture, and I sank down basically in my nutsack. And I, you know, when you have
Which is pretty hot.
Yeah, pretty hot.
Yeah, that's like forehead on me.
Right. And my brothers came out to like help pull me out, and they got pretty close, and they started sinking. So they turned around, and they had to get. They got a big sheet of plywood or something, I think, and dispersed the weight, and then pulled me out. My boots are still 3 feet under the mud somewhere out
Oh,
there.
geez.
Are they? They're still out.
Oh yeah, we don't have back. Yeah.
And they're rubber, so they're
Yeah.
still there. Did we? So we didn't introduce Seth.
I'm
We
sorry.
did?
I'm on Spencer's videos sometimes.
You are.
Yeah. Well, you're more than that. Introduce yourself. Talk about yourself a little bit.
Work on boats.
I work on boats a little bit.
He masters boats. He takes a.
He
he's
made
like an
my
artist.
boat like look phenomenal. Because I was comparing the wiring job to what he did to the old boat, and it doesn't look like a bird nest anymore.
But-
Sorry,
I try to cut wires to length.
Everything worked, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, that's right.
It did.
But you're gonna kind of start a business, right? You want at
that's-
least a side business?
That's the goal, yeah. I work in a factory now, I get a lot of days off, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So yeah, I'd like to start rigging boats on the side a little bit.
Do you have a name for your business?
And my YouTube channel is Easy Life Outdoors. I was gonna do like Easy Life Outfitting or something, but that's not a for sure thing yet. I don't know. Just kind of tie it all in together. Because when I start guiding and doing river charters, I was gonna call it Easy Life Charter Service or something like that. And it'd all be under the same
Brand.
brand.
You could name it Seth's Easy.
Yeah.
Guys.
My wife probably wouldn't like that very much.
Oh, she knows.
Getting the wrong
She knows.
clientele.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what I come up with. But I still need to form my LLC and probably do all the right things before I start doing it too much and somebody sues the crap
It's
out
not
of me.
hard to do, man. Like
No.
people make a big deal out of it, but starting an LLC,
It's
and
a 15-minute process.
even getting your captain's license, it's tough, but it takes time.
Right.
But if you dedicate yourself a little bit to it, like
Yeah.
I passed it the first go around, and
But
I'm
you're like kind of
like
smart. so-
stupid.
I mean, he's a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
no.
That speaks volumes. Tell you what, I was proud that I got it done the first go round.
Yeah.
I've never met a captain that didn't have to do it twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you have now.
I have to deal with it.
I'm not foreshadowing,
Right.
but
No, he did the first
Yeah, I
time.
have to deal with that captain every day.
Right, yeah, it sucks. You have to look in the mirror. As painful as it may be.
Captain Crunch has a lot to go.
You know what? I bet he didn't even have a license.
No.
Yeah. He definitely didn't have insurance or anything like that.
He had scurvy, I think.
Yeah. Don't see many oranges in the
Right.
cereal.
Right. No kidding.
Yeah, you do all that stuff.
You know, I like to catch catfish every once in a while.
Yeah, talk about your tournaments a
I've
little
never
bit.
seen
Talk
you
about your-
catch a catfish.
Yeah. We were walleye fishing, but I caught one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You smoked him on the hook set.
Oh, I did. I really gave him the beans. Straight heat.
So this year my objective with tournament fishing was to
Dad
dab.
made this tape.
Fair
It's
enough.
not a big deal.
Fair enough.
Much worse has been on, I'm
Touche.
sure.
My objective with tournament fishing was to dip my toes in the water and kind of decide if it's really something I wanted to pursue. And Seth was nice enough to accommodate that because you've enjoyed tournament fishing.
I love tournament
for a
fishing.
while.
I would rather, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I would rather fish tournaments than fun fish, like hands down. Like
Yeah.
there's
There ain't
fun
nothing
fishing
wrong
is
with
fun.
that.
No, I know, but like there's like the money thing and stuff makes it kind of difficult. But if I could just only fish tournaments,
Like if every time you got to go fishing it was a tournament,
Yeah,
it would
I'd
be
be perfectly
better
happy with
than
that.
the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
which there's fun fishing's a blast too, but I get some kind of rush. It's like doing coke or something. I don't know, I get a bump. But
Oh, it's different.
put the
It
boat in
is
the water in the
different.
morning and knowing like I have to go out there. And,
It's game time.
yeah, it's just it feels good. It reminds me of high school football running out of the tunnel. You know, it's the same feeling that you get for me. And I don't know, I get jacked up about it. So, and then I'd go and get my teeth kicked in, but that's
I was
fine.
gonna say- I was gonna say-
How'd you do your last tournament?
The last time I got fourth.
Oh, yeah, get your
Yeah,
teeth fucked.
that's horrible.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Out of 82 votes, got
Right,
fourth.
Right.
Was it 40 or 50 votes?
It's 39 or something like that.
I thought it was over 40.
Either way, all those guys don't matter. I got fourth.
Just those top three assholes.
So the moral of the story is Seth can catch him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I know he can.
Yeah, I got some kind of hex on me. When I get in Spencer's boat, I start tripping over stuff and I can't catch any fish. And
You do get worked up. You need to relax.
it's weird. I don't know.
Well, it's different being on your boat versus somebody else's boat.
Even in my boat.
He's never fished a tournament in my boat.
No.
We fished
Yeah.
in my boat. We ain't never. Every tournament's been in your boat.
Yeah, something about having a camera on maybe, which I'm gonna start filming myself, so I'm gonna have to get over that.
Tell you what, the last tournament I fished was
No, you don't have to put out good videos.
Right?
the last tournament I fished with Colby
Yeah.
was the best finish I've ever been a part of, which I take zero credit because Colby knows them waters. We fished his pattern. We were on the same page on a lot of things, and all that was confirmation that I am on the right track. You know, I'm not
Right.
doing everything right, but I'm on the right track. So we were on the same page. We clicked really well. I would gladly fish another tournament with Colby. Like,
Yeah.
he was fun to fish with. But I was super chill, laid back, go with the flow, and things went well.
Yeah.
And tournaments, like the last tournament I talked about where I got my teeth kicked in at Muscatine, I was uptight, I was pushing things, and I did terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really do think there is something to just
Oh, no
taking
doubt.
it easy.
Yeah.
But as your first year, and you are by genetics a small water guy, and you're transforming into a big
Oh,
water.
I have so much to learn, man.
I know.
It's
So, I mean, there's nobody on this earth that wouldn't be uptight in that scenario. When
We're
you're
not
going
really.
into a competition where you
crazy.
have
If you smoke enough weed,
Yeah,
there's plenty of guys, you know.
Oh,
shit, we haven't even launched the boat yet, man.
So I used to help host one of the larger catfish tournament trails in the country, and there was a lot of guys come through the line. You're like, yeah, this guy's on it.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
Well,
that doesn't happen.
catfishing is more of a laid back. It's
Exactly.
not a walleye
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah. So the bass fishermen supposedly do all kinds of uppers. So
Yeah.
there might be a difference with that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Really?
I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not, but
I've never.
It's all about fast twitch.
Yeah.
Fast twitch, man.
I have fished a bass tournament,
Yeah.
Thursday nighter bass tournament.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know.
How'd you do?
Terrible.
Well, you were bait fishing.
What was it about?
I was
God made bass so everybody could catch a fish. Was that right?
And God made walleyes separate the men from the boys.
Right.
Then catfish just eat them all, so screw you.
Yeah, I like it. That should be the end of the bumper sticker.
Right. Now, if I could fish 300 days a year, I'd probably put 50 to 60 of them bass fishing. But since I can only fish like 80 days a year, I'm catfishing every day. So
You could fish 300 days a year.
I'd just be divorced.
You
I
can't.
mean, there's
I
options.
got priorities.
There's
Priorities,
options.
I guess.
Not
Like
telling you what
morals
you
and
should do.
stuff.
Right. Yeah.
We're just keeping things in perspective.
100%. 100%.
I like to cuddle more than fish some nights.
Right. Yeah.
So are you a big water guy? I mean, what's your
Yeah.
preference?
You
I mean,
have to be.
yeah.
Like, you grew up down here.
Yeah. So I actually
We're on the
grew up-
shores of the Mississippi, just to clarify, and that's where
Yeah.
Seth grew up.
Yeah, I actually grew up fishing the Des Moines and the Fox River because my dad's a bass fisherman. Never had a boat. We just went to farm ponds and lakes and stuff, fish off the
And
bed.
there's a pile of them down here.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
if you want to catch a bass, you ain't gotta go very far.
Right.
About 6 feet actually.
I was gonna say we probably cast through that window if we're good enough.
100%.
Have you put goldfish in there?
No, I want to put shad in it, but dad's not on board with that.
not shad, but goldfish, yes.
I don't think it's legal for one.
It's
Actually, it's
legal.
100% not legal to transport them from this pond to the river and fish with them.
That I'm not sure.
I could put them on a hook and cast them back out of
You
this
can-
pond and not
you
catch
can-
anything.
You can buy goldfish at a bait shop and use them.
Yeah.
That is 110%.
In Iowa? I thought it was legal in Missouri.
Yep. In Iowa, you can buy goldfish at a bait shop and use them. As far as transporting them from a pond,
Either way,
believe
I don't
you
know.
can.
We did put goldfish in a pond we had access to one time, and just a couple. After we got done catfishing one night, we released a few, and they have like you go out there at the right time of
See
day,
the
and there's
gold.
orange like pods of goldfish,
Really?
hundreds, maybe thousands.
Are they like good size or?
Well, Brad's ponds
3 or
like
4
that.
inches
Yeah.
probably, I'd say. Like they'd be good bait
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I want a pond like this or maybe a little bit bigger with shad in it.
And describe it though. I mean, it's not very wide. It's not very long.
No, it's 30 yards long, 25 yards wide at the widest point, and it tapers down into a triangle, and it's 16 feet deep.
16 foot deep. I mean, that's
It's
good
plenty
water.
deep. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a big hole in the ground, basically. It's all
Yeah.
flat ground. Dad dug it, and he keeps
Aren't
filling it
there-
back up with a hose because it's not raining in Iowa
I
anymore.
was gonna say it's the fullest pond in the state.
He
right
literally,
Wait,
he
wait.
literally
You said
filled it
it's-
up with a hose.
You said it's a
So
big hole. Isn't every pond a big hole?
Not necessarily. I've seen some really small holes that are ponds. But
now. Yeah, I was impressed at how much water was in your pond.
yeah, he fills it up with a hose. Yeah.
With well water, you can do that.
No, it's city water.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he paid the bill. He did. Yeah. Yep. So he fills it up with city water.
That bait fish cost me $180,000.
There's something about my dad's getting older, and we're not rich by any means, but he just has decided to not care anymore, and he'll just, if he wants to do something, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, well,
But supposedly once he got over so many 100,000 gallons or whatever, then it like lowered down to commercial rate, I guess. So it wasn't that bad. I
so
think it
every
cost,
third month.
yeah, right. I think it cost him a couple $1,000s to fill it from empty, and he did the pool at the same time. And then the summer, as it would drop, a couple feet, he'd throw the hose back in there, turn the water back on. So he's kind of crazy, but he knows what he wants.
Those bass are impervious to chlorine.
So we filled it
Oh,
up,
yeah.
and then he treated it with something, and then let it sit for like a month, and then we stocked fish in it. And then yeah, you top it off with a foot. I mean, same thing with a fish tank. You do partial water change. It's not a big deal. And the water here is pretty good. Like I'm on the same water system. I have an aquarium at home. I can do water changes without treating them with any anti-chlorine stuff, and they're fine.
So how big are the bass in this pond?
Like fingerlings. Like
Oh.
I'm not sure he put bass in it. I know there's channel cats and bluegill in it. Yeah, there's bass in there. We released a couple bass in there that were illegally caught and released in there.
How big are the catfish?
12 inches, 14 inches maybe.
So you
Nothing worth doing anything with.
can eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But next year, the plan is, the whole reason,
Can't get down.
Can't get down as well as get channel cat.
the whole reason that pond got built is my dad's getting sentimental in his old age, and I have 2 little boys, and he wants to be able to take them out on the dock and catch channel cats off the dock if he wants to.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah,
That's like the
basically
American
only reason
dream.
he did it. Yeah,
Is
exactly.
what that is.
So, now he's excited about that. My
Stock
son,
some minnows in there and get them cats to grow up quick.
right? I told him let's release some blue cats in there, but he didn't want to do that.
It's not big enough. You
They,
could put
they'd live
more-
for a while.
They need so much food. It's absurd.
What part of my dad filled his pond with a hose? He'll go to the bait shop and buy
Yeah,
10,000
he will
minnows.
hand feed them minnows.
Yeah, if you want to put that in there, I'm all about it.
Right.
It'd be
He will
so-
run 7 bait traps
Yeah,
just to fill the pond.
100% will.
Please do.
He goes, no, like he will spare no expense.
Like cultivate a 100-pounder in that
I
quarter
thought
acre
that would
pond.
be pretty sweet.
That'd be awesome.
Did
He
you-
comes up to feed and the water just goes roll, roll.
Yeah, the water level comes down as he's making those. But
That's what I want to do. I want to catch a catfish so big when I pull it out of the Mississippi, it goes down
Yeah.
a tenth of an inch.
right. That wing deck suddenly is out of the water.
Yeah. Then my life would be complete.
Yeah, you just jump in after that and see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna take our odds
Yeah.
after that.
I do want a 100-pounder bad.
You'll get one. You're gonna get one quick, the way it's going.
Yeah, I never got it. I want to say before this year. Well, my biggest ever was 75 for a long time, and then
Was that the Texas side of the kayak?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then I got 2 over 80, and you got 1 in my boat over 80, so 3 in the boat over 80 this year, plus 74 and a bunch of 60s. Piles.
Bunch of 60.
Bunch of 60s. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I want to say a dozen 60s this
Well,
year.
we got 2 on that trip. 65s.
2 65s, and I've had a handful of different trips where you got 2 to 4 60 pluses. I think I've had a dozen 60 pluses in the boat this year, and I'd had like 2 my whole life before this year.
Yeah.
You're figuring it out, and you're on the same trail as a mutual friend of ours is. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And now he's got 4 over 100. I mean, this is exactly how he did it too. He started catching
Yeah.
a bunch of 70s, 80s. Now all of a sudden he's got 4 over 100.
Yeah. I dream of 100 plus. That 74 when he hit, I always think it was 100, 100. And then he popped up. I'm like, he's huge. He's not 100.
That's the cool thing about blue catfish is it's the next one. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
you're fishing
just
for
'cause-
flatheads in the Des Moines River, or I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say bodies.
That's fair.
And you might catch a 60. It's possible, but when the rod goes down, you're not thinking, oh, this is probably
Yeah.
a 60.
And even when you set the hook and it bends over, you're thinking, okay,
He's 30
high
plus.
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, high 40s.
Yeah.
And that's a monster.
Yeah, oh yeah.
A monster.
Down there,
But you're never thinking 100.
down there, it would be unbelievable, but you could catch 3 or 4 fish over 100 pounds in a day down there. There's so many of them. Like, it's never gonna happen, but it could.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You could catch, well, just
can catch-
two.
you
Could
can
you catch 2 over 100? It's possible.
I guarantee. Yeah.
It's possible. I've
Well,
never heard of it.
Jake and Scott caught 91 and 88 within seconds of each other. Like,
Yeah.
got the 91 on the boat, 88's coming in.
That's not a bad 5 minutes.
They were in a tournament
Yeah.
too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Did they win by like 50 pounds?
It was, I mean, you catch 2 that big in a 3-fish tournament.
You just started drinking.
So he caught, well, it was,
we need to wade in 2 fish.
right. That's the way that,
Still won.
so they called us, and there's a lot of people that call during a tournament and say, hey, I have a giant, I need to come weigh it in early. And we're like,
Yeah.
no, you don't, you know.
Yeah.
But they'll come weigh it in early. These guys didn't, but they called and said, hey, we have 2 fish over 90 pounds. It was 8 a.m., I think. The tournament started like 7. They were like, should we sit here all day? But it was in March. It's cold.
Yeah.
You can leave them on the deck. They're
Yeah.
probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
They were like, no, just put fresh water on them. They'll be fine, you know. They ended up coming in, and we thought they were full of crap, maybe 260s, you know.
Yeah.
Because when you catch a big fish,
Everybody in tournaments, man, they like blow it up. Well, Hamilton, when we fished that one in March, we heard
It
him
was over
giggling.
100, yeah.
He's like, I think it's 100, and it was like 78
yeah,
or something.
which is understandable. When I caught my 72 this year, I thought that he was between 70 and 80, but I wasn't, 100%
Yeah.
sure. I was hoping he was.
Guess
over
what?
80.
You were right.
Yeah, but
Dead on.
but I was hoping he was closer to the 80 mark. He was 72. I
Yeah.
get excited, but that's a big one. But
And Jason
Almost.
should enjoy us talking about this, because if he caught little bitch ass fish, he wouldn't be being discussed
but
right now.
the fact that he's
Yeah.
got 4 over 100.
The fact that he's caught monsters
Yeah.
gets him thrown in this conversation
Yeah.
of people who have.
And he earns it. He's out there all the
Oh,
time.
dude, he catches
well,
big fish.
yeah, you gotta. Yeah, he's earned it. So I.
There's a lot of guys that spend as much time out there as him and don't catch them.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't feel like this is no knock on him, except for he called the 70 whatever 100. I'll give him a hard time. like,
To the day you die.
but
I'll give him a hard time about that. Not feel bad.
right. But anyway, a lot of the guys will call thinking they have something. Like last year or 2 years ago now.
I gave
we were in
time out. I gave him shit at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
When he weighed it in, I was like, Jason, that's a long ways from 100. And he goes, I don't know what that means, but okay.
We were at a tournament, I believe it was in New Madrid, and that was a big deal because the ramp is like a half a mile long. And it's just a real skinny ramp. You got to back all the way down. We backed down with the scales. The guy called and said that he had one. He thought it was 80 or 90, if I remember right. We got down there, it was like 57. And this guy fishes a lot of tournaments. He catches a lot of big fish. He knew if he would have said, "Hey, it's high 50s. It's not looking good. Come weigh it." I don't care if it's 10 pounds. We're gonna go weigh it. That's
Yes.
just how it works.
I'm a tournament director.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah, but it's just funny. You talk to these guys, and I made the mistake
Dude,
too.
when
In that
you said
tournament-
it, like tournament fishing, the hype, you get
yeah, you
worked
get so
up.
excited.
Yeah, yep.
Like this year, I've weighed thousands and thousands of blue cats doing that. I know what they look like. I know how big they are, and I made the mistake this year when I got 4th in that tournament. I thought I had 50 pounds. I only had 43 in my 3-fish bag. And Josh, the guy that was just here, he beat me by. No, he got 2nd. The guy that got 3rd beat me by 4 or 5 pounds. And I was like, oh, I got 3rd. Or at the time, I was like, I got 2nd place because Josh hadn't weighed yet. And I got up there and it was like 42 or 43, whatever it was, and I was like really disappointed.
Yeah.
Now being on the other side of it, I was like, yeah, I could see where like you get. What had happened was I weighed 2 of my fish in the net during the tournament. It was 30 some pounds, and I caught another one that I thought was 10. Well, it turns out either my scale was wrong or whatever. The third fish was only like 7 pounds, and the other 2 were a little bit smaller than my scale said. Whatever. Anyway.
A little bit adds up to where you're like,
100%,
shit.
100%, yeah.
Especially when it costs you a place.
Yeah. Which it wasn't a big money tournament or anything.
No,
it was
but
fun.
still. Yeah.
That tournament really kicked me in the balls because the week before that, I caught a 70, in 5 days before the tournament, I caught over 100 pounds in 3, all 5 days.
Oh, Jesus.
And nobody else was really catching them like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna win this thing.
Yeah, I got this.
I slept at the line to be first in line because I was afraid someone was gonna beat me to where I was dragging. There's a little stretch that there's a couple guys that know about it that were fishing that tournament. Oddly enough, I never saw another boat until like noon. I thought I was gonna be racing people there.
Yeah.
So my wife, it was a Jack and Jill tournament, man and woman.
So she pissed
She's-
right away.
yeah,
Got
I
to
mean,
sleep on the boat.
She wasn't pissed, but she wasn't happy that she had to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the weigh-in line when we couldn't leave till 5. But whatever.
Especially when you live.
Love you, hon.
Well, we stayed I live an hour away from where this was. I got a hotel room in that town just so I would make it there. And the first place finish wouldn't have covered the fuel in the hotel room, but it was like
That's not the point.
it's my home water. Like
Yeah.
I gotta win.
I'm going to dominate
Yeah.
this son of a bitch.
And I caught a 72 and one that was 40, I think, and one that was high 30s the same day, like 2 weeks before the tournament, and then went out 4 more times and had over 100 pounds in 3. And I was like, nobody else has a chance.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they're showing up.
Exactly. We have this tournament every year, and usually winning weight is like 60 pounds. I was like, I'm gonna blow this out the
Yes.
water.
I'm bringing two
Guess what?
fish
This
in.
year was
It's
about 60 pounds.
Something about that first week in September, they're just stop. I don't know.
You already sore lipped them all. Asshole.
That's probably what it was. But yeah, I don't know.
But I'm still going to do the same shit next
Oh,
year.
I guarantee it. Tournaments are such a weird thing. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I've known it, but I fished 8 tournaments my whole life.
Yeah.
It's one thing to know tournament fishing is not fun fishing, but it's a totally different thing to go out and experience it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
You know, I
weird.
think the first tournament I ever fished was a boat tournament out of my kayak. No, that was the second one. First tournament I ever fished was a boat tournament out of a boat, and we caught 2 5-pounders, didn't weigh them in, left at noon, drove an hour, got a flat tire, had to replace the flat tire in the rain,
Been there.
lightning everywhere. It was a shit show all the way
That's
down.
Right.
As in why it took him 10 years to come back to tournaments.
There was something to that. The second one I fished a boat tournament out of my kayak, and I got 11th out of 35 or 36 boats or 30 something.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt pretty good. I'm like, everyone's backing their $30,000 rigs down the ramp, and I'm carrying
He's
mine on my
going.
shoulder.
He's going.
Yeah. All of a sudden, a strong headwind pulls up. He's on the edge of the lake.
No, I'm stronger than this. But yeah, like to almost get top 10, like that was kind of the pinnacle of tournament fishing for
Yeah,
me
that's awesome.
of all them things. And then we got a top 10 this spring, and then I got a top 10 this last tournament, and fished one kayak tournament two. I got one of them I got second, and the other one I DNP'd. That's did not place for anybody.
He did not poop.
Yeah. I did that. But 9 a.m. rolls around, it's happening. It don't matter.
That's right.
That is one funny thing about tournaments. Like for the guys who are consistent, that's the real impressive thing. Like somebody goes out, wins one, and
Anybody in a blue cat tournament can go out and catch 100.
Any tournament.
And just,
It ain't just blue cats. There's like varying
That's true.
degrees. Any single tournament, somebody can go out and get lucky.
But you know what's
But it's-
funny? They don't. Like it's very, 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 very rare to see a nobody, and that's a weird way to say it. But see somebody that nobody knows who they are, unless they're a local that
Like
fishes
Jack
hard,
Potter.
that comes in and just like has no idea what they're doing and catches 100 and wins the tournament. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It could,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It's always like either, like I said, a local that fishes hard there, is really good there, and everybody knows it, that's local to there, or somebody that's good. Like,
good everywhere.
Yeah, or I mean, it's not necessarily they win every tournament, but
They're
like
consistent.
guys like Josh, they're good. He's consistently good. I don't know if he's won one yet, but he will.
Yeah.
You know, he's good.
He's up there.
Yeah, he's good.
He's up there all the time.
He's good. When he wins one, it won't be a surprise.
Nobody
to
will be,
anybody.
yeah. Everybody will be like, about time.
Exactly.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like hopefully when I win one.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet.
When I win one, they'll be like, "Are you kidding me?"
What?
Yeah, it's about time.
Anybody can do this.
Did everybody quit?
Right. No kidding. But
Is that one of them one-man tournaments?
right. No kidding. You know what's really unbelievable is the guys that can win over and over and over, like Nooner Hall, winning 2 back-to-back MRMs, 100-vote tournaments, big tournaments.
Yeah.
Won it twice in a row. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like in bass fishing, I'm sure that translates too, but
See,
like,
that's my
the fact of
caveat.
being in the top 10 is special. Getting first place is usually like it's luck. It's not luck, but you have
gotta
You gotta
catch
kick it.
the biggest fish.
You gotta kick
You gotta
Yeah.
have a little luck
Yeah.
to get first. Like if you're consistent, you're good. To win it, you gotta have a little luck.
Yeah, you're not going out and targeting bigger fish than everyone else. Like you didn't
Yeah.
catch those big fish on purpose as opposed to the other people that did. You know what I mean?
You're
Everybody-
doing the same pattern as that guy that caught a 60. You just caught an 80.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you're doing the same pattern.
Right, but you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just happen to catch the bigger fish that day.
My caveat of all of that is, okay, so you have guys in bass fishing who are consistently top 10, top 5, but the fields are way, like the number of bass fishermen is 100 to 1 for catfishermen, at least.
That's
Yeah.
why. And
So if you have a guy who's consistently top 10 in that 100 to 1, like if you, there could, to me, there's the potential for the separation of a guy who, like you have these group of anglers who are consistent top 10ers, but there is room for somebody who just wins them all.
yeah,
And I kind of want that to be me.
yeah. Okay. It's crazy, and a lot of people hate him, but like the Jacob Wheeler dude, like he's fishing. It's always the same field because it's
If
a
he
closed.
wasn't
It's a
such
closed.
a douchebag.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway, it's a closed league.
Be on the douche
Yeah.
part.
It's the same 80 guys he fishes against every month or every couple weeks or however it works out. It's the same 80 dudes, and they're all freaking good.
Yes.
But then
Yeah, you have
still
your
They've
can't
all
win.
earned
You
their
have
way up.
80 of your top 10ers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're all fishing,
Yeah.
against each other, and he wins. He wins.
It's like a high school
He wins.
wrestler going against college wrestlers. You know, you're all good high school wrestlers.
Or the other way around, a college wrestler going against your high school.
No, but I'm saying once you're a good high school wrestler, you go up to college.
Yeah.
For you to be good at college, you got to be a level above.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody was a good high school wrestler.
Yeah, sure.
Now you got to beat those good high school wrestlers to become a good college wrestler.
But my thought
That's your
process
10%.
on catfishing is
We're still in high school.
we're still in high school,
And we are,
comparatively
100%.
speaking, to
Yeah.
the bass fishing crowd.
There's
Yeah.
a reason, and I'm not talking trash because I've blanked in plenty of tournaments. We've blanked. Well, no, we didn't. We caught a 7-pounder in that once.
Nailed it!
Yeah. there is most sports aren't like this. In catfishing, 40% of the field is probably not going to weigh in a fish.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
40% of the field is pretty standard, will not weigh a fish. And 30% of the people that do weigh fish are always like catching small fish or weighing in channel cats or whatever. And that's cool. Everybody's there having a good time. That's all that really matters. But as far as going and winning these tournaments, you're only really, if it's a 100-boat tournament, you're only really competing against 20 guys. The other 80 guys are pretty much, well, I don't know, that's a stretch. Competing against 40 guys. The other 60 are pretty much just there.
Yeah.
So
Which is crazy when you think.
it's unbelievable, yeah. And eventually it will not be that way.
And sometimes you're in that boat where you're just the guy that's just there.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have what it took to figure those fish out.
100%. I'm in that lower 60 most of the time, so I don't think I'm talking about
We're just analyzing the
Yeah, it's just
situation
how it is, yeah.
for how it is.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
It is
And
something.
as the sport of catfishing grows, that gap is going to
Oh, it's
close.
eventually it's going to be 100 hammers.
Yes.
It will happen.
But then you'll be in bass money. You won't be in catfish money because there's a big difference
Right.
Maybe.
between bass money and catfish.
Or it just gets more competitive and the money stays the same.
Yeah.
It's possible.
There's a lot of big money dudes that are in the game now. I don't see it going backwards.
It ain't going backwards.
I I foresee this being something that we can't afford to do unless we get good and
have people
big
back.
sponsors
Yeah.
to do this, because all of a sudden it's getting close to where there's 100 guys that are big farmers or chief technical officers of a company and making several $100,000 a year that are going fishing these events, paying $2,500 entries. And
Well, if you're going to have tournaments like that, you're going to have tournaments that are not that
they'll be
expensive.
local
Yeah.
A
tournaments.
B league.
But you're
Yeah.
fishing
Yeah.
against B-League anglers, and which is,
You do what you can afford, and if you beat all those guys, you make enough money where you can
Exactly.
compete against the bigger guys.
But if I know you, and I think I do, you don't want to fish against B-League guys. You want to win against the A-team, right?
I do, as long as I can afford to.
Right,
compete.
exactly.
Yeah, you're not gonna go broke.
To
No.
Eventually, to fish like a Twisted Cat or a Cat Masters or whatever, eventually it's going to be $1,000 entry fee. Like, it's just, it's going to be probably 10 years.
Well, with
down
the way
road.
inflation's going, it'll be like.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's true too.
Yeah. So the
It
guys
might be-
that are cutting their teeth on that tour now are trying to rack up the sponsors, rack up the notoriety
100%.
to where they can afford to do that when it does happen.
A lot of the guys that are
I'm trying to afford the $300.
Exactly, me too. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to fish them all because I can't. I mean,
Well, I can't drive.
I'm not going to fish them all. To leave the house, unless it's a tournament that's within an hour or two, to leave the house is $2,500.
Exactly right.
I mean, that's.
Yeah, once you gas and room and
Yeah.
board and food.
It sucks, which is, I'm lucky I fish with a guy like Spencer because I'm used to fishing with higher end guys who want hotel rooms and Airbnbs and stuff.
Yeah,
I literally bought a topper on the back of my truck so I can sleep on my truck as a boat ramp.
absolutely.
I ain't paying for a hotel.
That's how I spend 70% of my camping trips is in the back of my truck or on a sandbar.
Yep.
That's it.
I tried sleeping in the front seat and I just couldn't do it. So I put
Well,
a
you're
topper
built
on.
a little different than I am.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can sleep in the back and I'll sleep in the front seat.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We can split gas,
Right.
everything's good.
Yep. A lot of guys say they're about that life and they just aren't. We'll do it one
No.
night and they're like, nah, we gotta get a hotel room. Like,
Yeah, it's different until
Yeah.
you do it.
Right.
That's for sure.
I think it's more fun. Like we did that tournament down in, I think it was Miami this year. Missouri, not Florida. Talking about
Whole
short
different
fishing.
climate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like we cooked on a tailgate and slept in the truck and we were at the ramp in the morning when everybody else showed up. It was a blast. I had a good time. You don't have to stress about,
Yeah.
getting to there, getting back, and more fuel.
That's 99% of Spencer and I's trips.
Yeah.
Is we don't see civilization for 3 to 10 days.
Which is perfectly fine
We just
with
go,
me.
yeah, it's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, how do you do that? Well, I spent $340 and I was out there for 7 days.
Right. Yeah. No
That's
kidding.
how I do that.
I brought my food.
Yeah,
Or I caught it.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's awesome.
it's a blast, man. That's part of the experience too.
And I almost forget, like when I'm doing guide trips and shit, that people aren't at that level.
Oh, that's
It's like, oh, we're doing an all-night trip. Here's our stuff. And it's like one bag.
Right.
And I'm like, oh.
Right. No kidding.
There's no air mattress. There's no
Right.
friggin' foo-foo.
Yeah.
We're fishing.
And I try not to be the guy that brings like 16 duffel bags and all that crap, but yeah.
I'm a one bag guy.
Yeah.
Well, your system is refined over coals.
Yeah,
Hot coals.
I'm
Yes.
pretty
I still,
lot of experience going into that.
since you said the YouTube's going downhill or whatever, or it's been in the low right now, I still want to see a video of like the cooking tote or
Like a breakdown of all the camping stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I should
people-
do
people
that.
are-
It's refined to a
Yeah.
science.
I should do that. Those videos either do really good
Yeah.
or really bad.
Yeah.
And I would enjoy talking about that. So that's a good idea. Like I'll do that. I'm gonna do the boat walkthrough this week and
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
and then do the boat walkthrough and then camping gear video would be fun. And, because and that might be helpful to the people I take because
Yeah.
the people I take, I don't know how often you'll have
That's what
just
we're bringing.
well, it'd just be a pile of stuff, and you have all this camping stuff, and to go to a point where it consolidates, it's a whole new price point.
Yeah.
You can buy very reasonably priced camping equipment where you have a sleeping bag that takes up like X amount
Right.
of room, but to have one that's just as warm with half the size, you got to spend
100%.
four times the amount, which that's not like. To expect somebody to do that's kind of douchey.
Yeah, for sure. And my sleeping bag's huge. I don't there's a reason I bought a 26-foot boat. I can stuff whatever the heck I want in there. Like,
Well, and you have 2 couches.
Yeah.
You don't even need a cot.
not really. I
Like your
slept on
cot
the
is
couch
built on the boat.
Yeah, I slept on the couch that one night. It wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you slept on the couch on that tournament?
Yeah.
No.
You talking about your dad like he's some old decrepit son of a bitch.
Well, he's not.
He just jumped his truck. He's going bow hunting in this weather.
Yeah.
It's 18 degrees out. He's going to hit the tree stand.
That's right.
I just went and took a piss, and when I was peeing, I'm like, I'm glad we're not fishing. Because it is
No,
Because the worm is not wiggling.
He's sitting in a insulated ground blind, so.
That is different.
Whatever.
No, he's the man. He's the man.
Not the guy I had pictured when we talked about him earlier.
No, he's had a couple, like, he's had a stroke and all kinds of stuff, so he's trying to live life to the fullest right
Hell
now,
yes.
So,
We all should live by that.
yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
So,
Yeah, as far as the camping stuff goes, it's just I try to keep it simple, and I will make a video kind of
Yeah.
outlining that. That's good. That's a good idea.
One that I'd like to see, just from selfish reasons, is a camera gear breakdown, but that really won't perform well.
No,
So
I won't.
we'll just do that. You know,
Well, yeah.
do a game.
That'll take 10 minutes. He's got one too.
Right.
Yeah, the moral of the story for camera gear is like
Simplicity.
well, just what do you value? Like, or what do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the filming more, or do you enjoy the fishing more? So I enjoy the fishing more. So my camera gear is very simple, straightforward, very minimal maintenance.
Right.
You
Yes.
don't have to do a whole bunch of
Yes.
stuff. And when I'm filming, the people who I'm filming with, I don't want them to feel like I'm filming because I don't want it to be an inconvenience for
It's
them.
not intrusive.
Right.
And non-intrusive, it's just
And you really can't tell that you're filming until that thing beeps. I mean, honestly.
yeah. So I want it to be like that. I want everyone, well, and then the other side is everyone's just doing their thing, you
Right.
know, and it's very natural, and it makes the editing process a whole lot easier. And
Sure.
when it comes to editing, you're only limited by, well, I say you're only limited by your creativity. You want to be able to have like some B-roll stuff, but you know, having a good cell phone camera, man, it's so simple to just hit like little shots to kind of pull it all together.
No doubt.
The end product, with what I do on the water for filming, I feel pretty good about my end product, and it gets a little better. I feel like it's gotten like from last year to this year, and the year before that to last year. You know, the progression. Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
I feel I'm pretty happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
It's turned out.
You're killing it, man.
And as a
Killing
beginner,
it's debatable.
I think
I'm having a
it's-
lot of fun. You know,
There's a fine line too that you don't want to cross. Like, and well, I guess I'm wrong here because they're making way more money than me out of it. There's a couple of YouTubers that I watched when they were very small, like a couple hundred subscribers. Now they're up in that 400,000 or 500,000 subscriber range. They have cameramen, they have people editing their videos, and I don't even enjoy them anymore because it's not what I subscribe
it's a
to.
production.
Yeah,
It's not them.
It's not what I
Yeah.
subscribe to anymore. It's something different.
but how much?
But they're getting a ton of more subscribers, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
don't matter what I think.
So
Yeah.
your idea is stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not paying my mortgage.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, you just don't have to like it. I mean,
Right.
it sucks.
100%. And I'm a huge, like, I'll play YouTube in the background when I'm like working or whatever, like
Yeah.
on TV Live YouTube. I'm a huge YouTube like proponent and user, I guess I should say.
But you're a podcast guy too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like podcast, I'm a podcast guy, and I'll look up a YouTube video on a subject that I'm interested in. And sure, there's visual components because it's a YouTube video, but lots of them I'll just listen.
Yeah.
Especially like I'll just listen to videos about YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like I will just play Mr. Beast's top 10 tips for YouTube, and I kind of got away from that for a while, and I've been getting back to it the last couple weeks, especially. And I don't know.
Because shit's changing.
Well, this is a good time of year. Like traditionally, my channel hasn't done as well this time of year, and it's good kick in the pants to be like, all right, you need to figure your shit
Yeah,
out.
you still got a mortgage, bud. Let's
It's
go.
weird. We talked about that earlier. Obviously, I'm the minority here, but I always like start watching deer hunting videos in like June. Like that's when I'm getting like, oh, you know,
But
deer
yeah.
season's almost here.
Yeah,
but
Fishing,
you're-
I watch more fishing in the wintertime.
You're an extreme. Well, yeah, like you're a guy.
Yeah.
Like both you're a guy. That's why we're buddies.
Right.
You know. But the majority of people who watch fishing videos,
Or actually probably trying to learn how to fish. They don't know how to yet.
Yeah, or somebody just has a super clicky title.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, monster lives under spillway. Like, I wonder what the monster is.
Yeah.
So you
It's
click
a
on
drum.
it.
Surprise! My video I had to put out today, chasing beaver.
I saw that. That'll get some clicks.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I gotta put a video out today, not for 2 hours.
Right.
Oh, it's tied up for the Hawks. Start of the fourth, 10-10.
Wow. So Hawks scored 10 in the first 30 seconds and haven't scored 6.
Right.
That's normal.
They should have 2 field goals too.
Yeah.
That got blocked.
So, just out of curiosity, do you not post them on holidays? Because a lot of YouTubers don't do this. Because viewership
This is the first year that I didn't post on Thanksgiving.
is it
And
viewership?
every year on Thanksgiving, my videos don't do worth a damn.
Just people are busy doing something.
I assume.
Yeah.
I was curious because it takes 10 seconds to post a YouTube video pretty much, right? I mean, you hit upload and you probably already have it.
Oh, yeah, like I have a video uploaded for today and Monday right now.
You just have to hit publicize or whatever.
Yep.
I do not. Like, this is coming out next Friday.
Right.
I don't have shit saved up.
Right.
I do have a blue cat video and I've got one more trapping video, but I do a podcast and I do a video.
Right.
I do a podcast and a video. So
Do you have them edited?
no, but I've got the raw
Okay.
footage. So
So I have lots of raw footage, but it's not edited.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have 2 videos edited. One's going out in 2 hours and one's going to be out Monday. So
Yeah, I was just curious because
I
like
gotta get a video edited for Thursday. I think I have 5 videos, not 5 or 6, not counting the boat video that I need to edit.
So my editing happens either on my lunch break or after 9 p.m. Because everybody kind of chills out and goes to bed after 9. So I do my hour at lunch almost every single day is editing. And then from 9 to like 11 or 11:30, I edit.
So mine's the other way around. I wake up at 5 every day. Like,
Yeah.
me too. And I go to work.
Yeah, some of it.
like I wake up at 5 and I go to work.
I know.
Technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been that way for the last 5 years. I wake up at 5, and before school I'd edit till 7, or I'd edit till 6 and then go lift weights or whatever. But whatever, so I'd wake up early and edit, and I still wake up early and edit, and it's still a good idea. Like
100%.
my wife works
Do your chores. You get up, you do your chores.
like my wife works from home, and she's somewhat distracting. So it's good for me to wake up early and get stuff done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll edit instead of after 9, because after 9 p.m., I'm a morning person,
Yeah.
which is weird for a flathead guy, a morning person.
That's what I was about to say. My brain space is not where it needs to be at 5.
I'm
Yeah.
worthless. Yeah, I'm worthless 9. I'm worthless after 3.
Yeah.
I'll do.
I get stuff done.
I'm pretty much worthless all the time. Like I'll chip, but I'll chip away at stuff in the afternoon and evening and make progress. And that progress is big because, like in the morning, before you picked me up,
Yeah.
I was editing for an hour and 20 minutes before you got
Well, I was driving for an hour and 20 minutes, so we were both reaching a goal.
there. Right. Yeah, so like every morning I wake up early, and then when I was teaching, yeah, you'd have a 20-minute lunch break, but I'd get out of school and then I'd have about an hour and a half before Ella got home, so I would get a bunch of stuff done then, and that was
Like when you were coaching, you just did one video a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I was wrestling,
Yeah.
coaching
Yeah.
wrestling, I only did a video a week.
Because it
And
was,
that was tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
I bet. And that's kind of the same I'm going through right now is
Like
I gotta find the time.
mine was all in the
But-
morning then.
Yeah.
You know, because I wake up at early as shit and I get an hour, 3 days a week. So I have 3 hours in the morning. Then you'd have a tournament on Saturday, come home, and then Sunday is where I'd wrap it up usually.
Yeah.
So you do, it wasn't even 3 hours. So it'd be half hour, then an hour, then a half hour, then an hour, and a half hour. So yeah, it'd be 3.5 hours. And then wrap
Sunday,
up on Sunday.
knock out whatever's left.
And on a real good Sunday, I'd get 2 of them done.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
My issue.
And then my wife would be like, "You just edit video all the time."
You gotta make a living.
Yeah, dude.
But
And then some Sundays I go fishing.
my issue is the content. I can edit anytime I want. I've got 2 kids. Well, my oldest is 3, my youngest is 2. I can sit at home in my office and edit while they're playing with toys or watching whatever the heck they're watching or doing any of that. I can edit anytime, but it's the matter of getting out and getting content that I'm gonna have an issue with. But
And as kids get older, that'll be easier.
basically, my only time, like my free time, is when I'm traveling to go to a tournament or something. If I'm around home and I'm fishing, like the phone's probably gonna ring and say, "Hey, something came up. I need you to come home." So,
Yeah. You just try to get as much time in before that happens.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so when I'm out of state, I still get the phone call, but I can't come home. So I'm gonna keep fishing, you know.
This is a you deal with it type situation.
Well, and it's not. I don't want it to be like that or anything.
No.
But yeah, that's just kind of how it is right now. So when the kids get a little older, and it'll surely get better, I would think, and I'll have more time to create content. And,
Then they become teens and
yeah, they won't want anything to do with me.
So I think the biggest thing is just to document the things that happen, and the biggest thing on that is how much are you comfortable with documenting. So
Right.
you talk about documenting your kids. Your wife isn't comfortable with that for good reason.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I don't like it at all.
But do you document the fishing alongside with the phone call of the shit that went down?
Probably not.
Well, but that would make a compelling story because
Yeah.
it's all about a story.
Right.
You know, like whatever story you want to tell. Like I like telling a story about a fishing trip.
Right.
I feel comfortable about a fishing trip.
You don't document the L phone calls though.
No, sometimes.
well,
Yeah,
parts.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always catches fish when Ella comes.
That's
Always.
true.
It's
That's
crazy.
true.
We were talking about that on Monday. Like, it's absurd.
She just thinks that you're the best fisherman on earth.
No, she definitely does. Honestly,
When
it
she's
amazes
with you-
me that she questions my fishing ability as much as she does.
When she's with you and you're not getting a bite, you ever like just call you?
Hey, yeah. Just pick up the
Call
phone.
her.
Well, we were out this week, and she,
How big was the one she caught?
probably like 45.
It's a hammer. She looked happy about it.
Yeah, she giggled louder reeling that fish in than she ever does in any of my jokes.
Right? Oh wow, I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, and we talked about that after that fish was caught, actually. where I'm like, so you laugh. So I'll say something that I will, like I'll say dumb shit, don't get me wrong.
I mean, that's kind of my thing.
Right.
But I'll say something that is legitimately funny, and she'll look at me like I have 2 heads. And then I'll cough and go, huh. And then she'll lose my mind. Like, why are you laughing at this? And not at the thing that's actually funny.
I've been working on that one for 2 weeks.
Right.
I nailed the punchline.
But then she hooked this fish and was just giggling her ass off, which I'm glad she was
That's awesome.
entertained by.
One of my favorite stories that you tell is her, like, first big flathead.
Oh, about how the end of it?
Yeah, and then she's like, "Can we go catch carp?" Or
Never wanted to throw someone in the water so bad.
that's my favorite story because my girlfriend's the same way. She caught a 34 and has never been fishing again.
Really?
Yeah.
She's done. She conquered it. Her biggest thing was she's a big reader, so she brought a book light,
Yeah.
and then the moths went.
So my wife, the very first time we've ever fished together was in that Jack and Jill tournament, right? And she always talks smack.
She has a
That's
fishing
the
background.
mind-blowing
Like,
to
no.
me that you've been together as long as you have, never fished together until the
She's
tournament.
been pregnant
this
since
year.
I met her. So, that's true.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
But so she wanted to go when we first got together because before we had a kid, I've always been the guy to spend more time with my girlfriend than to go fishing or hunting or whatever. Like,
And that's
I'll
where
hunt.
we differ.
I know. I'll hunt really hard and fish really hard when I'm single, and then as soon as I get with somebody, then it kind of tapers off.
Mm.
Well, when I broke up with the last one, I went on a tear. I fished every day. I was living like you.
Bet you were.
It was awesome.
Bet you were.
And
Best time of my life. Love you, dear.
right. No,
I hope you were, but I bet you were.
I actually had went to the dealership to look into buying a brand new what do they call those?
Boats?
No, it was a Chevy Econoline or whatever. One of those big vans,
yeah.
like an electrician van,
yeah.
to build into a camper. And I had a boat. I was just gonna travel, like stay single. I told my dad I was like, never get another girlfriend again. Then
there's scum ruining everything.
But anyway, when we got together, I made it a precedent. Like I'm not doing this again. I'm gonna fish every day. So she actually got a hold of me online, and I made her wait 3 weeks before I went to go see her. She lived in the next town. I was like, I'm fishing, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, she would invite me, like, hey, I'm going to a wedding night if you want to, go to this wedding with me. No, I'm fishing tonight.
It's a new
I just
mood.
wanted to, like,
Sorry.
I wanted to say, like, fishing is important. And then she got pregnant. So I fished really.
So you did see her.
Time out. No,
sometime.
you got her pregnant.
Yes. Allegedly. No.
You did see her at some point,
Yeah.
at least for 2.5 minutes.
No, it didn't take that long. But, no. So the whole first year that we're together, she's pregnant obviously, and I had a little low roughneck, that doesn't matter, but I was scared that, like, this sounds really stupid, but when she got pregnant, like, I've always wanted kids, I was really excited about it, didn't want anything bad to happen, obviously, as any good person would. I was scared that we were gonna, like, hit a wave or something and jostle around, she was gonna have a miscarriage.
Yeah. It's called a roughneck for a reason.
That was a legitimate fear of mine.
It's not a luxury bar.
Right. So we went out one time, and then we had our oldest Clay, and then 5 weeks later she was pregnant again. And
Whoops.
yeah. Turns out they're really fertile after they have a baby. Who knows? But yeah, then we had Toby, and then we're just too busy. Like, she's always, if I'm not with the kids, she is, so we're not gonna fish together.
That's how you don't have more kids. Yeah.
Exactly.
Two's good.
Yeah, two's perfect. I got a second after that, so I'm done. I'm not doing it every 5 weeks after.
Yeah.
Because it would have been. But
12 kids later, what is
it
going on?
literally would have been. She came with a family of 9, and I was like, you guys are just fertile.
I'm taking care of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just never had a chance to fish together, and finally this Jack and Jill came up, and I was like, we're doing this, find a babysitter. So we went, and she'd always talked all this crap because she went saltwater fishing with her family on vacation when she was 18 or 19 years old, and caught a barracuda. It was a pretty big barracuda. I don't know how big they get. It was probably 5.5 feet long.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, I don't know. She's holding it, and it's like way bigger than her, and it's a cool picture. But anyway, so she caught this monster barracuda.
So now she's a fisherwoman.
So she's the best fisherwoman on the planet. She's talking smack because I'm catching like 20-pound blues and like taking pictures of them and stuff. She's like, that thing's tiny compared to the one I got. So
different environment, sweet pea.
And that's the only fish that she's ever caught, as far as I know. So we're going out, we're dragging.
Well, she went out on top and you screwed it up.
Exactly, I messed it up big time. So we
you wanna go catch bait with me?
Right. The moral of this story is we gotta fish more because we're dragging, hooked into the first fish. I reeled down on it just to make sure it was on the planer board, and I handed her the rod. And she's this big fisherwoman. She caught this giant barracuda, and she holds the rod straight. She's like, "What do I do?" And I was like, "Reel it in." And the line is slack, and she's like reeling, and then she like points the rod tip down. I was like, "No, you need to put pressure on it." And she puts her hand on it, and like it's like pulling on it like this, and trying to reel with this hand. I was like, "Give me the rod."
Just watch. Watch.
So, moral story, we're gonna start fishing.
Moral of the story is, if
I messed up.
if you want to do it right, and I've thought about this a lot, because I think about a lot of things a lot, but
he's a thinker.
involved specifically fishing, like all involving fishing. But if you want to do it right, you need to take her fishing with another chick, another couple, like whether it's me and Ella or somebody else. But their competition's a real thing.
That's true, yeah.
Competition's a real thing, and if there's no competition, she's gonna blame you for any downfalls.
Yeah.
Not gonna be her fault,
Right.
not yours. And I've also noticed the same reflex on me.
Yeah.
So when you get competition involved and you see that this person who gets no help is exceeding the expectations, presents a new precedence.
It's true.
Yeah. So if you want to go fishing, let me know.
You want to go today?
Yeah, I did, but I walked outside and it's really
I was gonna say, good luck taking the girls out today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But that would be something that I would be all about.
Right. But what started all that, my wife's a big reader too, which is why I bought that stupid Easy Cat. It's got the couches up front, so She told me
It's not a stupid easy.
No, it's a really, really, really nice boat.
It's pretty.
But I had a Pro Cat 200 before. I wanted a Dynasty. She said, if you're going to spend that much money on a boat, get one with couches. And I was like, so you're telling me
That's what I look for in a boat.
I was like, so you're telling me I can spend that much money on a boat? And she was like, well, not necessarily, but if you do get one with couches, I was like, all right, I'm calling the dealership.
What color would you like your couch?
That's literally how it went. Because I've been,
yeah.
my boat, at that time, the motor had like over 2,000 hours. It was letting go. I was like, I can repower this old 2011 boat, spend 20,000 on a new motor, and it's still worth 20,000, or I can trade it in right now for 32,000 or sell it is what I did, but then I bought that. But anyway, so that whole day, she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit up on the couch and read my book and this and that. She sat in the back captain's chair the whole time and was watching the rods the whole time. Well, you didn't read a single stitch of your book. I'm selling this boat and getting a Dynasty.
And then you didn't.
No, I didn't. I still have it.
Yeah, your boat's pretty sweet.
I like it. It's a little bit too nice for what we do, but
Yeah.
It's not too.
That's what I worry
the price tag. The price tag is not too nice, but the price tag's a little high.
no, that's not. I feel like I'd spend the exact same amount of money on a boat that's better suited for what we do. No, I don't have to worry about it.
But what? So what's your word?
Like
It's got couches.
it's got
man.
couches on it. No, seriously. I just worked on a gentleman's Easy Cat that's 5 years old, and he's treated his boat well, I'm sure. And the couch, like the seams are ripped out, and
So you're
like there's
worried about
mud
the
stains.
couches?
Yeah, I mean that's what the boat is built around.
Well, just take them out.
I know, but then it looks terrible.
It does. It would.
Ryan Casey took couches out of his, and it's like he filled the space in with coolers and stuff. And I talked to him about it, and he's like, "Do not do it." And he said it's a nightmare. And
He's got a pro guide now, doesn't he? Yeah.
he always had an Easy Cat before. He'd take one
Yeah.
couch out, put coolers and stuff there. Which, if the couches ever go to crap, and I have this boat in 10 years, I will probably rip the couches out, move the consoles all the way forward, and
Yes.
have 20 feet
Room
of space.
for activities.
But then
Yes.
it's a pro guide.
Even it's bigger than a Pro. If I move them all the way forward, I can fit 4 sets of seats in the back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's got a school bus at that point.
yeah, I could have bought a Monster Cat or a Dynasty or something like that with a similar amount of money, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I have it now. I
No
like it.
point thinking about that now.
No.
That's true.
You had the blessing, so you
That's
went
right.
for it.
Nebraska missed the field goal. Still 10-10.
Go Hawks.
I was listening the whole time.
So the reason I didn't get a high five is because I don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
You're correct. I knew Ryan gave a shit.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want a high five?
No.
Just go leave me.
I've known where
I'll take a low five.
I've known where my hands have been. I wouldn't touch that hand right now.
That's awesome. That's
Might
awesome.
need a shot of penicillin.
Well, there's 5 minutes left. It's 10-10. Iowa's got the ball.
So Nebraska had the ball in 3 plays. Come on, defense.
We need an interception to win.
That's right. Pick 6. Come on.
Yeah, their best offense is the defense.
Yes,
Special teams win.
It should be
That's right.
16-10.
it should be, but it's Iowa.
2 blocked field goals.
They should have the best offense in the nation. It'd be
No.
62-0.
No.
Yeah, but it's not.
But you should at least have decent special teams if your offense sucks.
Right?
Nah.
You should at least make 1 field goal. Well, they made 1.
Did
It's
the
the
boy get
line.
fired yet? Did I hear
Who?
that? Ferentz Jr. or whatever. his
Yeah,
first name
Yeah.
is.
he
He's
got
done.
canned. At the end of the year, he's done.
Well, it's
So
not,
not really done.
official. They just said that there was an out.
They told
There was a
him-
loophole in his announcement.
I tell you what, if they don't can him, because I'm like very pro.
Iowa State.
Like there were so many people
Come on, Panthers.
who were anti Brian Ferentz,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it can't all be on him. But when you have 3 different quarterbacks and they all suck, and one of them was the all-time passing yards leader in the state of California, like it can't be all the quarterbacks. It's got to be a little bit on the coordinator, and by a little bit, the more I'm leaning to all of it.
Which I find that like unbelievable. Like that the coaching makes that big a difference when you have talent on the field.
Well,
But when you go from
on that
Cali-
level,
Yeah.
on that level,
But if you go from Cali to Iowa, that's going to downgrade his stats a little bit. Because
you go from Cali to nationwide because it's not Iowa. Like
Yeah.
it's the team of Iowa, but they play on a national.
I mean, just like, yeah.
It's college, you go you go from Iowa to competing.
But when you're playing in Minnesota when it's -12 and 30-degree winds, he's never seen that in his life.
That's true.
Until he does, and then the good
He's
guys.
like, guys, I'm out.
The moral of the story is, like, Brian needs to be gone. And if he's not gone, then I'm
a
hard to cheer
Hawk
on.
fan because of Tom and Terry Brands. I'm a wrestling fan.
I'm a Hawk fan.
They have a football team, so I say go Hawks.
Yeah, sports.
I'm a Hawk fan because of Dan Gable.
Yeah,
You're
Who
a
was
Hawk fan
originally a
because-
Cyclone.
he was.
Yeah,
You're a Hawk fan because you live in Iowa. If you would have been born in Alabama, you'd be a Bama fan.
you're right.
Yeah,
But you
That's-
have a
that's like-
choice. You got Iowa State, or UNI.
but my ears would
Those-
look a
those-
lot different if I was born in
You ever
Alabama.
met a Cyclones fan?
I'll tell you
Weird
what.
people.
I'll tell you what. If Kirk Ferentz or Matt Campbell showed up, like if I was a high school kid who was a prime, like top level recruit.
Like blue chip.
Yep, and Matt Campbell or Kirk Ferentz showed up at my house. I've heard them both in interviews. They
You're
might
going
talk
to-
different in person.
Yeah, you're going to it.
But god damn it, Matt Campbell.
He's got my heartstrings.
like he does. You know, I listened to a few of his interviews, I'm like, man, that guy's a good talker. You know,
Well-
I wrestled at Grandview and Mitchell, I'd
Yeah.
run through a goddamn wall for that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate him sometimes.
The good coaches, you always hate them.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
he's
like,
built a lot like you are. He's hard-headed. He's earned everything. He's stepped through it. He goes through
our
it.
only problems is we weren't, like, he's 100% wrestling and I was not. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that was the only thing. Like, if I was devoted to wrestling the way I am fishing, you know, like, I would probably have been more competitive.
So I've got a dumb question for you, because I'm obviously not as into this stuff as you are. Grandview, you said they've won, what, 12 national championships or something in a row, or what was it?
Maybe 11.
Are they Division II?
Not in a row, though, because they
NAI.
won 8 or 9, and they would have set the record, and then they lost to Life University, which,
But like
funny,
2 points or something, isn't it?
well, it was like 1 or 2, and then the funnier part is that Omi Acosta, the head coach of Life University, me and him graduated together from Grandview. Well, and then he went to Life and then beats Grandview.
Right.
And then this year, they're 1-2. Grandview's number 1 right now. But you have like Grandview by 140, Life by like 138, and third place is like 90.
12.
They're a big deal in their division, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if Grandview, on one of their national championship years, went and wrestled a tournament with Iowa, Oklahoma, Penn State, Purdue,
They
They'd get top 10.
would they really?
They'd get top 10.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They'd be top 10 D1 school. I really do.
Yeah.
They almost beat Iowa State in the duel the year that they dueled Iowa State, and
Yeah.
Iowa State won't duel them anymore.
No. They,
Really?
yeah.
Like it was a one and done thing, and smart on Iowa State. Like
Yeah, you don't want
they're
to look bad.
expected to lose to the
If Iowa ever loses to Ball State in that first game of the year, they're never going to play Ball State again, probably.
right.
Yes. Yeah. Learn my lesson.
Right, yeah.
Congrats.
Good job, guys.
Congrats. Here's
Yeah.
your money. Go
Right.
away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So NAIA, and this is, again, I'm an idiot, but it's
You just-
D1.
You're just not familiar.
Yeah, I just don't.
NAI, I wrestled my last 2 years in the NAI.
Wrestling is different than other sports.
They can give you whatever you want. I never heard, I went to Huron University up in South Dakota. Never knew that was a thing
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
until they called me.
Not really.
So I went up there for 2 years, did pheasant hunting, walleye fishing, channel cats, this freaking big.
Yeah, they
That's
got
awesome.
big chans.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I got a degree.
Yeah.
But NAIA is like, there's Division 1, Division 2, is there D3?
There's a
And then
D3,
there's NAIA.
then there's NAI, and then JUCOs, junior college.
I would say
Yeah.
NAI and D3 are comparable
Gotcha.
as far as
Normal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
normal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But JUCOs, junior colleges, are either a low-level program or they're a feeder to a D1. There's no in between.
Gotcha.
Either there's studs that can't meet
That
the
are
requirements, They can't meet the requirements to go to D1.
Requirements.
So they go to junior college
They
for a
are
year,
dumb.
win a national title, and then go win a national title at D1s.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're really
Like
smart,
Tony Davis. Tony Davis is a prime example. He went to Iowa Central, won a national title, went to UNI, won a national title. He wasn't in, when he went to Iowa Central, he already had a child, he was married, wasn't in the position to move to D1 right away. He went to Iowa Central for a year, and then went to UNI and won national title there. He's a stud wherever he's at.
Yeah.
That was just his path.
which is cool, and I'm gonna offend both of you because you're both big wrestlers.
Good.
I don't understand the wrestling thing. Like going and wrestling D1 is awesome. If you win a national championship, you're a stud. But you can't go anywhere after that. Like you can like train other wrestlers, I guess. You can do camps and stuff.
Yeah, you can become a coach.
You didn't offend me. I was ready for it,
Right,
and I'm
I just-
not offended.
Like baseball, or something. You can go to the major leagues, maybe. You can play NFL, maybe.
The pros for wrestling is UFC.
Yeah, you get
Yeah,
it.
but
really
you have to
is.
be good at other stuff though too. I mean, good wrestlers
Yes and no.
can be beat in UFC.
They can.
But good anything can be beaten. here.
But you could be the world champion
In
kickboxer and get taken down and don't know shit.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestling translates
UFC
better to UFC.
Which I had 18 cage fights and wrestling dominate. I knew where I was good.
Right.
I don't give a fuck where that guy's good.
Right.
I'm gonna take him to the ground.
Right.
What do you got now?
Right.
Yeah. Can't kick when
They
you're on
didn't
your
do shit.
back. Yeah.
Right. 100%.
Pretty easy challenge.
Right. But even at the high level UFC, like you're not the champion of the world, you're really not making any money. The way I understand it.
No, my nephew is still. I mean, he's had 37 pro fights, and he fights in Japan.
He makes more money than I do.
He does,
Yeah.
but
And he's a nobody.
he's top 50.
Yeah, but
In the world?
like
Really?
Yeah.
not Johnny. If you're watching this, you're not. But if you are, you're not a nobody from the perspective of fighting. But the average Joe,
Like I've never heard of it.
yeah.
Yes,
doesn't
Johnny
know.
Cage. Yeah, he's had 8 UFC fights. He's fought over in Japan like 12 times.
Yeah,
I mean, he's run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
and
Of
he's
the
making
pro MMA.
he's making a hell of a living.
Yeah, he's
Like,
doing well.
A guy I work with, Bryson Abbey, his older brother Darian Abbey. You ever heard of him?
Mm.
Really good MMA fighter. Fights all over the place. He's fighting in Boise, Idaho or something next week. But you never heard of him. He's what do you call it? Security at a nightclub.
Yeah.
That's his real job.
Yes, exactly
And
right.
then he fights MMA.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's making very much money.
No,
But
you know, like
Well, Johnny went on a tear. That's what set him up good.
yes, he made fight of the night like 3 times out of his 8 UFC
Yeah,
fights.
he went on a
like he had a
freaking
$50,000 bonus.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, until that point, he was working at a gas station.
Right.
You know, he was
Getting his fingers broken.
Enough shit, yes.
Yeah. Tearing up everything.
enough shit to get by to do that.
Right.
But isn't that the story for a bajillion people who rise? above the
99%
odds?
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And props to him for not being the 1%.
No, it's really
Or for
awesome.
not
It's
being the
cool.
99. For
Yeah.
being the 1%, not
Yeah.
being the 99%.
Should
And
be.
he moved back to Iowa because his kids are getting older. You know, they're active in sports, and so now he's based out of Iowa. But he's still that company Rising, which is the old Pride out of Japan. They are amazing. Like they take care of their fighters. They're not like UFC where they just use you and move on.
So did he lose a contract with UFC or something? Had to go somewhere else, or he just left, or?
His manager was from Des Moines, and his manager had 6 or 7 guys in the UFC at one point, and he screwed them all over.
Gotcha.
Like the UFC said, "I'm not dealing with you anymore,"
Really?
and like 7 or 8 Iowa guys got screwed over on the deal, and now Johnny was one of them.
Nothing to do.
Yeah. So
That
he moved on. He went to RFA. He went to he's had several different fights, but he found a home in Rising.
Gotcha. Because Darian fought in Bellator quite a few times, I think, and I don't remember what company he's fighting for now, but I don't think there's near as much money in the Bellator.
There's not.
So,
They don't have the pay per view
Right.
incomes. You know, it's And Johnny's fighting pro boxing fights. He just had one 2 weeks ago in Des Moines. Just because that's part of his training.
Right.
They pay him to come fight, and he's like, oh, I'm trained. It's just another day at the gym.
Right.
And he, beat the shit out of the guy, made a couple grand. And
Right.
there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I never want to box Johnny.
He's so quick.
I'll wrestle him any day. I'd wrestle him I'm 6 beers deep.
Johnny, where you at? I'll wrestle you right now.
I'd wrestle you right now.
But his
I ain't boxing you.
like,
no way.
Because you always look for angles and corners, and his footwork is just so precise that there's not a wasted movement.
Yeah.
It's like you set your boat up a certain way because you don't want a wasted movement, and that's just the way he performs at
100%.
punching people.
I've watched him box.
That's awesome.
I've watched him box. And
I mean,
when I watched him, I'm like, I've mopped you up on wrestling, but I ain't mopped you up.
I let my chin way too low.
Yeah. You're gonna make my chin smaller.
And it's the same thing. He worked hard at beating people up as you did fishing.
100%.
That's all there is to it.
Well, you want to wrap this up so we
Yeah.
can go get something to eat?
Yeah, let's go.
You had 6 pork chops. What are you talking about?
These are pretty lean pork chops. I'm getting kind of sloppy and saying dumb shit, so we should probably wrap it up.
No, we're gonna continue this for 3 more hours.
You're saying till that's all gone.
Don't tell me.
No, Seth, it's nice to meet you. I've heard about you for quite a bit. So,
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Nothing
This
yet.
guy can't out fish, but he's got a nice boat. So.
no, I've had a great time. Thanks for inviting us over and hanging out.
Anytime.
You have a great place. Your dad has a great place. This actual poker table is dad built.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Minor project for him, but yeah, he knocks this stuff out.
That's cool.
The woodworking
detail
phenomenal.
is crazy.
The upholstery is what really stuck.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, you set your beer on there. I about cried.
Glad
Do you not know etiquette?
Never heard of it. I live on a riverbank.
My parents would ask, "Were you born in a barn?"
You were there. I don't know.
Yeah, you raised me.
I don't remember.
You tell me.
Right?
All I remember is man.
Jeez.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. I've got another Blue Cat video coming up next week. So tune in. We'll see you soon.
Me too. See ya.
I know.